Hey everyone, this is Cholera, and I'm bringing you another single game from the Shinhan Bank Pro League. This is the fourth set from Korean Air Force versus OGN S4. He's played on November 30th. Oversky, one of my favorite players, versus Tazza. And for those of you who are wondering why I'm spending my valuable and rare commentating time on this game, it's because Tazza, if you guys have been watching my commentaries, beat Bisu in the very first game he ever played in the pro world of StarCraft. He is right now 1-0 as of this game, and he beat Bisu, who obviously just won several Protoss versus Protosses to make it into being the MSL champion. And here's that new kid, Tazza from OGN. You should have seen him. I mean, go check out the commentary between Tazza and Bisu in SKT1 versus OGN. Just look at the kid's face after he beats Bisu. He's just going nuts. He can't even believe it. Meanwhile, he's facing Oversky, who's one of my favorite players also. He's a very, very creative, aggressive Zerg player. Definitely not an orthodox Zerg player. He definitely belongs to sort of the old school of Zergs. I would say the tradition that passes down from NC Yellow downwards, and you know it goes to players like Oversky, I would say, Quanro, players who don't go for the standard macro Zerg sort of play. NC Yellow really never won for macro Zerg, at least in the way that we knew it. A lot of one-base builds coming from him, you know, quick lurker rushes, all sorts of things that we would consider very unorthodox nowadays. But Oversky belongs to the school and you know, a modern version of that, and he is definitely fun to watch. He's not the best in terms of his record, but that's just because in general Korean Air Force doesn't do so well against the other pros because of just generally lack of practice time. Anyway, he's going to be facing Tazza, of course, TTaza, perhaps. It looks like he's going to start off here with an overpool build, and he's going to go for probably some speedlings and then try to deny the scouting and then maybe pull something creative. Who knows? He could be using some of the temples perhaps on this map to his advantage. And there's Tazza on the bottom. He looks so young. I think he's like 15 right now. And certainly, you just look at a kid after you won that first game. He was like, you couldn't believe it. He didn't even have a jacket on. Like, I think OGN hadn't even given him a team jacket. And he's like, oh my god, I beat Bisu. Oh my god. And he's like going to the crowd, and the crowd's going nuts. And like, I don't know, like some of Bisu's girlfriends probably were like, hey, how's it going, kid? And he was like, I don't talk to girls. I don't know what to do. And then Bisu was just all good and, you know, whatever. And watch Bisu in the last game, though. He kicks the crap out of Yellow Arnak. He's so pissed off. He's like, I'm just going to eat a Zerg. I'm so pissed off at losing. But yeah, anyway, Tazza going to go for a Forge and then into Nexus. And meanwhile, doing a good job of harassing Oversky, preventing him from putting down that hatchery. That's actually that's a really good pro press. And by the way, I was really impressed at Tazza's just general micro skills during the game against Bisu. I mean, he had really good Reaver micro. We'll see if that takes part in this game. And oh my goodness, look at this. Oversky's given up on putting down his hatchery, his natural. It looks like he's actually taken it, the back natural, the mineral only. So that's going to slow him down a little bit. And meanwhile, Tazza has gotten the most economic build you can possibly against an overpool. Against an overpool, of course, the Protoss player is correct in going for Forge Nexus, then 2 cannons. That is the build order they can do, and it will get up. Those cannons will get up in time. And it looks like Oversky actually is not going to go for an early gas there. He's not going to go for speedlings. He's gone for the 3-hatch build, overpull into 3-hatch. So he just wants to basically force Tazza into building a couple of cannons before, you know, going for his expansion, or rather, actually, he went for the expansion first, but he, you know, forces him to play, keep himself honest, go for the cannons, and you know, I wouldn't say either player has any economic advantage. This build is very the overpull into double expand is very decent against this kind of forge fast expand, and it's going to be about killing off this probe, though. He needs to kill off this probe, obviously. We'll see how good Tazza's probe micro is. Bisu, of course, is the master of keeping probes alive inside of enemy bases. We'll see if Tazza is as good as Bisu is in that aspect. Meanwhile, Cybernetics Core going up for Tazza. He's playing pretty standard here, and we'll see what he detects into. It looks like the probe's actually out of the base here, so here we have the opportunity for Oversky to try something different. We'll see what it is, though. Oversky looks like he's still hasn't morphed his lair yet. Maybe he's going to go for Speedlings first. And we could see a lot of possibilities here. We could be seeing a standard build, which from this opening would probably be something like Lurker Scourge. We've been seeing that plenty of times nowadays in Zerg versus Protosses. By the way, to see a good game, check out Bisu versus Com. I just did that commentary yesterday, and it was on the same map. Medusa seems to be a popular map to bring Protosses and Zergs in. I think it's because it's sort of a Terran graveyard. You really don't want to play Terran in this map against either Zerg or Protoss, and so teams are basically just putting up the Protoss and Zergs, and so we're getting a lot of PVZs here. Anyway, it looks like Tazza is going to try to force a scout with a Zealot. That Zealot allows, with some good micro, that Zealot will force the Zerg to fight the Zealot and allow the probe to go into the base for a scout. But I think with enough Zerglings, it's not going to really matter. There is Oversky going for the Hydra's Den, so he's going to be going for Lurkers right away after Lair. And we'll see if he decides to do something creative, like try to break the ramps, break the temples, and try to get the ramp behind Tazza's base. Meanwhile, Tazza is going to go for Corsair Reaver here, based on his opening build. So we're once again going to see some good Reaver micro, hopefully, from Tazza, and he just really... I mean, you should watch the game against Bisu. Bisu decided not to go for Reavers, and that cost him so badly in the game, because, Bisu did go for a DT rush, but you just watch Tazza's just take just tremendous advantage of the fact that Bisu did not